All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and great glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Echad Gwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and salutations to the elect pushing this truth to the four corners of the earth in truth and in sincerity. Before we hop inside of this video, I want to say Salakia for the background noise. I am on a plantation in the cafeteria. Everything cleared out, so I should be able to get this video off. This is going to be a news update on what's happening with Russia, Iran, Israel, and the U.S., also China. All right, now we know that Iran and Israel have been firing rockets on each other for some time, starting last year. And America got dragged into it. It told Iran they better not strike Israel back or there's going to be consequences to their actions. Iran said that we are going to strike back. Now, before that, Israel were planning on striking Iran's nuclear facilities, their nuclear sites. Russia issued a statement and said to Israel, don't attack Iran's nuclear sites. And then Israel hearkened to the words of Russia and didn't. So when they did their attack, they took out certain military installations, but they didn't attack the nuclear sites. Now, they're talking about how Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon because they're close to getting one. All right, they're real close, and you're going to hear Iran's president say that. All right, and they said if they wanted one, there's nothing America can do about it. So now you have Trump saying that they cannot have a nuclear weapon. Now, it's speculation that there might be an Israel-U.S. attack on Iran's nuclear sites. All right, a lot of people are speculating to know that's going to happen. That'd be the next big thing that happens. All right, so Russia, China, and Iran came together in a meeting to issue a joint statement to America saying that negotiations is the only way out of this whole thing, is to just be peaceful and negotiate. And this reminds me of Ezekiel 38, Russia being a guard to these littler nations, specifically, we're talking about Iran or Persia. Because Russia and Iran are really tight, close allies. All right, so if you attack Iran, look, Russia will get involved with it one way or the other. Russia is already supplying the Houthis, which is a proxy group of Iran, already supplying them with weapons. Remember last year, Israel struck a Russian site because it was a warehouse that Russia was using to supply the Houthis with weapons. You see that? So Russia actually is being a guard to these little nations, man. And also had a joint statement with China saying, hey, negotiate with them. That's the only way. We're going to play the video so you can see it yourself. Right. So we're one step closer to World War III. All right. Russia also was the one supplying Iran with a lot of weaponry after the weapons embargo was lifted 2018 off of Iran. So Russia and Iran are very close allies. This is why you see on your screen right here on Israel News, this is Israeli news right here. That's why they got Putin and the president of Iran shaking hands. You see that? You see that? Come on now. So let's this is Ezekiel 38, and starting at 1, and we read, and the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, talking about Russia, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against them, and say, Thus saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, talking about Russia, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, which means Russia is going to turn back into that USSR spirit, that Soviet Union spirit of hating America. You see? Because when you put something in somebody's jaw or a hook into like a jaw, you can wield that animal. Think about like fishing. All right, when you catch a fish, that hook is in its jaw, and then you can wield that fish to and fro. You can reel them in, right? So that's what it means when it says, "And put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords." Persia, Iran, right? Ethiopia and Libya with them. And Ethiopia and Libya are really close allies to this day with Russia as well. Letting you know that that's talking about Russia. All right? All of them with shields and helmets. Gomer and all his bands. The house of Tagarma of the north quarters and all his band, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So Russia is going to be a guard to these nations, man, these little nations, like Persia, you see right here. And Israel even calls Iran the Persian people. They don't even call them Iran, they call them Persians. Persia changed its name to Iran in 1935. So you see, eventually, World War III is going to start, and Ezekiel, it's like Russia is going to be leading the charge, man. So we got this prophecy jumping off of the page, man. Well, we see this coming to pass right now. Russia being the guard to them.
TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations. Shalom, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu dubs the successive victories versus Iran as a new Purim miracle. U.S. President Donald Trump warns we are down to the final moments vis-a-vis Iran's nuclear program. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei cautions the United States against striking Iran.
Right, you about to hear the Iran president say, if you strike Iran, it's just going to be worse for you. But watch his attitude, his demeanor. We about to see things turn up, watch. See, Ezekiel 38 is jumping off of the page, man. We got Russia being a guard to these little nations. And these little nations are saying that they strong. The weak are saying, I am strong, Joel 3 and 10. 9 to 10. Right? Why are they saying that they're strong? Because they have gotten up their military might. And they are becoming nuclear powers, like Kim Jong-un. He was weak at a point, but then now he got some nuclear weapons. So now, it's not too much you can say to them. And they already popping shit to America. You see that? The weak are now saying that I am strong.
Israel is celebrating the festival of Purim, which commemorates the redemption of the Jewish people from Persian annihilation, as is recounted in the biblical scroll of Esther. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu joined police cadets for a
look at them. You could tell they ain't the people. But anyway,
biblical reading of the scroll, underscoring a new significance to the story of Esther.
The conditions were very difficult. Every time there was pressure. We stayed out to
we're gonna skip that.
same people.
We're gonna get straight to the point.
It's important to know that while Israel celebrates its redemption per the biblical book of Esther, a standoff between the United States, Israel versus the Islamic Republic of Iran is evidently intensifying, with prospects of a confrontation evidently drawing near. This was explicitly stated by U.S. President Donald Trump last week.
There'll be some interesting days ahead, that's all I can tell you. You know, we're down to final strokes with Iran. That's going to be an interesting time.
So what is he saying in a nutshell? They about to strike Iran, watch.
And we'll see what happens. But we're down to the final moments. We're at final moments. Can't let them have a nuclear weapon.
The United States is keen on reaching a diplomatic solution that would prevent the Ayatollah regime from attaining nuclear weapon capabilities. In a letter sent by the American leader to the Islamic Republic's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, President Trump reportedly leveled a scathing warning of far-reaching consequences if the obstinate rejection of diplomacy persists. However, in response, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is seemingly digging in, blatantly claiming he had not received any letter. Moreover, Khamenei claimed that while
Right, because Trump is saying he wrote him a letter, and I hope he gets the letter. That's what he said. But now you got him saying, I ain't get no letter. You see, America be lying. They just want to do what they want to do anyway. And they're going to be called bullies right now. Watch.
he regards the United States as an untrustworthy actor, the leader of the terror
Untrustworthy actor.
regime in Tehran explicitly stressed that talks with the United States would only reinforce tensions upon the Islamic Republic.
Some inside Iran keep insisting on the issue of negotiations. Why don't you respond? Why don't you negotiate? Why don't you sit down with America? I want to make it clear, if the goal of negotiations is to untie the knot of sanctions, then negotiating with this U.S. administration will not achieve that. In fact, it will only tighten the knot. Negotiating with this government will only increase pressure. I told officials a few days ago in a meeting that the U.S. are raising new demands, proposing new expectations, and putting forward excessive new demands. The problems will be even greater than what we face today. Therefore, negotiations will not solve any problems or untie any knots.
At the backdrop of intermittent chants by his followers calling for the death of America, death of Israel, and death of England, Ayatollah Khamenei warned the United States not to confront Iran militarily.
America threatens military action. In my view, this threat is irrational. A war, starting a war, or delivering a strike is not one-sided. Iran is capable of delivering a counterstrike, and undoubtedly it will respond. I believe that if any wrong move is made by the Americans and their agents, the ones who will suffer the most are them.
Uh-oh, the weak saying that I am strong.
Of course, war is not a good thing, and we are not seeking war. But if anyone takes such action, our response will be decisive and certain.
The Iranian supreme leader went on to claim that if he would decide to attain nuclear weapon capabilities, the Islamic Republic could achieve that goal, and irrespective of President Trump's remarks, the United States could not prevent it.
Regarding the nuclear weapon that is often mentioned, that they won't let Iran acquire nuclear weapons. If we wanted to develop nuclear weapons, America would not have been able to stop us.
In light of Ayatollah Khamenei's claim, it is important to re-highlight deep concern articulated by the International Atomic Energy Agency Director General Rafael Grossi in reports he had circulated amongst member states of the agency's Board of Governors, explicitly stating in a restricted document on the Non-Proliferation Treaty Safeguards Agreement with the Islamic Republic of Iran that the significantly increased production and accumulation of high-enriched uranium by Iran, the only non-nuclear weapon state to produce such nuclear material, is of serious concern. Moreover, Grossi repeatedly amplified that Iran was not cooperating with the agency on inspections, and where it had cooperated on open probes, quote, Iran has neither provided technically credible explanations for the presence of uranium particles of anthropogenic origin at undeclared locations in Iran, nor informed the agency of the current locations of the nuclear material and/or of the contaminated equipment involved. Therefore, the IAEA Director General determined that the agency will not be in a position to provide assurance that Iran's nuclear program is exclusively peaceful. Nevertheless, during a trilateral meeting on Iran's nuclear program by delegates from China, Russia, and the Islamic Republic, Tehran's Deputy Foreign Minister and Chief Nuclear Negotiator blatantly claimed that the Ayatollah regime's nuclear program was under immense scrutiny by the IAEA.
The Iranian nuclear program is peaceful in nature. It is under the surveillance of the International Atomic Energy Agency. Iran is receiving huge inspections from the IAEA, and our nuclear program has never been diverted to non-peaceful purposes.
Beijing's top diplomat, for his part, urged the West at large and the United States in particular to lift sanctions against Iran as soon as possible, which would pave the way to diplomacy.
Today, the deputy foreign ministers of the three countries successfully held a Beijing meeting on the Iranian nuclear issue between China, Iran, and Russia, issued a joint statement, which is an important step in the right direction. We will also strengthen communication with other parties to the Iranian nuclear issue and urge them to show political sincerity and return to peace as soon as possible. We can still strive for it and cannot give up easily. Unilateral sanctions will only intensify conflicts, while dialogue and negotiation are the only option.
It is important.
See that? Russia, China, and Iran held a meeting and issued a joint statement to America. Hey, we one step closer to World War III. Things is about to pop. Hey, right after the blood moon, shoo. Come on.
Important to know that the third-party nation to be most affected by the Trump administration's maximum economic pressure campaign is no other than China, which had enjoyed over 90% of all energy product exports by the Islamic Republic of Iran. Meanwhile, the navies of Russia, China, and the Islamic Republic of Iran concluded a trilateral exercise in the Gulf of Oman, dubbed Maritime Security Belt 2025, during the course of which they had conducted joint maneuvers and drilled the inspection and release of a vessel hijacked by simulated terrorists, per Russia's defense ministry. In its statement, the Russian defense ministry further noted, quote, "For 2 days, the crews of the warships conducted both daytime and nighttime live-fire exercises, using heavy machine guns and small arms to engage targets simulating unmanned boats and aerial drones of a mock adversary." It concluded by highlighting that after successfully completing the naval phase of the drills, the ships returned to the port of Chabahar in the Islamic Republic of Iran, where a final assessment and closing ceremony took place.
Hey, so there you have it, man. You've seen it with your own eyes, man. One step closer to World War III. And Trump just struck the Houthis, and then I believe he just struck them again, which is the proxy group of Iran. The ones that Russia was actually funding and supplying weapons to. They struck them and said they want all of them dead. And Iran, I heard, is saying something about it. So I gotta get into that news as well. But hey, get right. Hey, we here. So drive on, don't give up. Stay prayed up. Wake up, Jake. But anyway, hope it was edifying. Hope you could take something from this. With that, I'm gonna say shalom.